AAA games are very abundant in 2023. But could they be a problem for the gaming industry at large later down the road? Find out. Up next. What up, guys? This is Kalo, and I'm here to give you the lowdown on all things gaming. And if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content. Drop a like on the video, and welcome to the Level Up. So, when you think of massive AAA games, I'm sure you can pull a few names out of your magic hat. When you think of expansive AAA-style single-player games, I could be led to believe at least the first image that pops in my head is PlayStation. Since the glory days of the PS3, PlayStation has really taken up the mantle of being the place to play when it comes to single-player games. Now, depending on who you ask, Uncharted was the focal point in which PlayStation realized, hey, we're doing something good here. So, let's really lean into this. And I would say that paid off for them pretty damn well. Now, PlayStation is recently celebrating this massive milestone of units sold for the PS5, which I think is around 50 million, and their AAA games are selling hand over fist. So, what on earth is the problem here? If we circle back to a story we talked about earlier this week, being the Insomniac data breach, it's come to light that Spiderman 2 had a budget of $315 million. Miles Morales, even being a smaller piece of the pie here, clocked in at $156 million, and Spider-Man 3 is projected to be above $385 million, and so on. This shows, at least behind the scenes, things aren't great, and AAA gaming budgets are ballooning at a very rapid rate. Now, Sean Layden, who was the previous boss over at PlayStation, actually forecasted this issue way back in 2020, and this is what he had to say. Quote, "The problem with that model is it's just not sustainable. I don't think that in the next generation, you can take those numbers and multiply them by 2 and think you can grow. I think the industry as a whole needs to sit back and go, all right, what are we building? What's the audience expectation? What is the best way to get our story across? And what do we need to say?" Translation: the higher budget these games get, the more copies they need to sell to make a profit. And let's just say you do make a profit here. You aren't really getting that same return you would have a few years ago, because the initial price to make games nowadays is a lot higher. So in Sony's case, people are expecting these AAA games they have been churning out to get bigger and better, especially as the years go on. That means the cost to make them will go up to meet demand, but that's easier said than done. Now they could do a few things to come out on top, like raise the game's price tag, which of course no one truly wants. But according to those Insomniac leaks behind the scenes, they've been considering just that with an $80 price tag. You could also see an uprise in microtransactions within their games. Maybe more DLC and stuff like that, so keep that in mind. Another tactic that I've seen occurring more often is releasing these smaller scope spin-off games, like Miles Morales, that rumored Venom spin-off game, and of course Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. This tactic gives fans a nice bridge between bigger entries, all while keeping that cash flowing directly into Sony's pockets. But let's also not forget the time in which it takes to make these games is expanding too. But what if it's as simple as copy and paste? That's right, Sony's recent venture into the world of remasters could help offset costs just a little bit too. Prime examples are The Last of Us Parts 1 and 2. While I don't think they were entirely needed, we still got them anyway. There's also a rumored Horizon remaster on the horizon as well. Now I saved the best bit for last, and that's PC gaming. Sony could swallow their pride and release their games onto the PC, and this is all in order to reach an untapped flow of cash as well. We covered this rumor of a supposed game launcher and trophy system maybe existing, so who knows if there's plans in place for that already. But I also want to point out before we wrap up this video, this is very much an industry-wide issue, so we could see a trickle-down effect later down the road. But with all that being said, I'm going to pass this question off to you guys. What method could you see game devs taking to offset cost of these big AAA games? But that about does it here. I've been Kalo. I gave you the lowdown on all things gaming, and if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content. Drop a like on the video, and this has been the Level Up.